to my show Unbiased Rugby, where the predictions and the reviews are completely unbiased towards any team in Super Rugby or international rugby. So I don't support any team, one or the other. Just I don't have any favourites, and I don't profess to have any favourites. But I just talk about Super Rugby and South African rugby in general. But firstly, I'm just going to give a shout out to 3 other channels that I follow. I follow the Coal Room. They gave a shout out for me, and I thought I'd return the favour. Kruger, also a very, very good channel, very, very slanted towards South African rugby. And then Cents Rugby, also great show, New Zealand show, but actually they talk about all the Super Rugby franchises, and it's very, very good. And he does a great team of the week, which is very, very good. I'm just going to talk about this week's Super Rugby. I'm just going to open up the scores here because it was quite an interesting week. I didn't watch all the games. I've got to work and I couldn't. So Friday I couldn't watch the Chiefs and the Bulls. My father-in-law ran inside saying, the Bulls are on the lead 28-7. So I ran through to the TV and I switched it on, and I thought, oh, flipping hell. And then I'm watching and I couldn't understand why they were in yellow, but they were in yellow. It looked more like Bafana, not the Bulls that I know. And I thought, no, I can't watch this, because they gave me the taste of victory, even though I predicted in Super Rugby that we're going to win. But I don't know. I just had a bad feeling. I walked to the shop. I came back, and before I knew it, it was 41-28. So a little bit depressing, but it's pretty difficult to beat the New Zealand side at home. Well, actually, even to beat a New Zealand side home, away or at home. So yeah. Then yesterday on Saturday, I watched the Highlanders versus the Crusaders. Probably the most entertaining game of the weekend. The skill level was just sublime. Just really, really good tech defense, and I really enjoyed that game. I didn't think the Crusaders would lose 2 in a row, but it seems like they have. But the Highlanders seem like a very, very good side. I like both Ben Smith and Aaron Smith. So I think Aaron Smith is just amazing. He just passes straight from the base, no movement. I look at South African scrum halves and they take 3-4 steps and then they pass. I look at Hogarth, exactly the same. A few steps, passes. Aaron Smith passes directly from the base. Excellent. Just gives you that extra 100th of a second for the next player to make that decision. Entertaining game of rugby. Enjoyed it. Then I did watch the Brumbies versus the Sharks. I was a little bit disappointed. I just thought it's just amazing. I watch South African and Australian rugby, and I don't know. It must be early in the season, a lot of jitters, but there's just a lot of knock-ons, a lot of penalties, and it just seems like there's a lot of handling errors. And I picked the Sharks at the beginning of the season to do a lot better, and I just think they haven't come to the party. Maybe they're missing the 2 twins, the Dupree twins, and where they give them a lot of impetus, and obviously they were missing the beast, who gives a rock solid loose head side. But I was disappointed that they lost, but they did. Then probably my favourite game of the weekend was the Stormers versus the Blues. I have a feeling that the Blues probably partied the whole week in Cape Town, or they were partying from their victory in Johannesburg, and Cape Town's a beautiful city. It's just down the road from me, and I know there's a lot happening there, and I'm sure they were hitting the bras and eating the meat and drinking way too much, because they just seemed so flat. It was so strange that they were slowing the game down, and I've never seen a New Zealand side actually slow the game down. They always want to fast out of the rucks, fast over the game line. It just seemed like they were just, I don't know. Shout out to Sia Khaleesi. I think he's picked up the new laws on counter-rucking excellently. So there were a couple of counter-rucks that the guys did, and went straight over the game line, stole the ball, took it out. But I think Damien Willemse played very, very well. Look, traditionally I've never been a big Stormers supporter, but I'm glad they finally got a victory, and they're at home. I think they had the hardest start. They went on tour almost immediately, go and play New Zealand sides, and that's a tough ask. At least the Lions have had a bit of had a few games at home, and then they go touring. You know, even the Bulls had a few games at home, and then they went touring. So I think the Stormers had it hard. And then I predicted the Lions to wipe the Sunwolves. 21 points in my Super Brew. I've got to come back to my Super Brew. I didn't come last. I came fourth from last in my league. I'm still stone last for the season, but fourth last is not too bad. You know, so there were 3 people worse than me. But yeah, I started watching the game, and it was okay. But yeah, I don't know what the problem is. I think the Lions. Don't get me wrong. I think they've started. I think they've bought into their own hype, and I think they're a brilliant side. They've got the same plays that they had last year. They've still got the same skills, but I think they need to catch a wake up. They need to actually pitch up on the day, play rugby, train during the week. I don't know if Frank Mostard's a good choice as captain, but yeah, I think they're going to find it difficult moving forward without Warren. But they need to find another leader, and they need to find another leader fast, or somebody needs to step up, because there are leaders in that group, and then somebody needs to actually take charge. Then I didn't watch the other 2 games, the Jaguares versus the Reds, or the Waratahs versus the Rebels. I did predict the Reds would win, which they did, and then the Waratahs Rebels, well, 51-27 says a lot. The Rebels were top of the log, and then the Waratahs took them out. But yeah, look, it was an interesting weekend of Super Rugby. I don't think it was the greatest weekend of rugby skills, but I must admit, I was watching some Six Nations at the restaurant. I was looking up at the window. It's my wife's birthday, and I'm looking up at the rugby screen, and I saw Ireland won it. They won the Grand Slam. I really think that Ireland are a contender for the Rugby World Cup. I predicted it last year that they won up and they were going to win the Rugby World Cup. I think they are hitting all the right notes at all the right times. Joe Schmidt has really worked with that side, and I think the 2 contenders for Rugby World Cup 2019, we're talking the All Blacks and the Irish. I think those are the 2 sides that I would pick to be in the final. Hopefully that's how it ends up. They normally try to set it up that 1 and 2 do make it all the way, but I think the draw was done last year. So, but yeah, I think those are the 2 sides going forward. Disappointed for France, happy for Wales, very disappointed for Italy. They didn't win 1 game over the whole tournament, even though I think they did improve from start to finish. But yeah, it's interesting, and look, it's a pity that South Africa have now slipped to 6th position, but now obviously the Northern Hemisphere have stopped their international rugby, and we've obviously got we've got the England tour. So then things will start jostling again. We've got the championship, so we can start building towards that. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to next week's rugby, but thanks guys for tuning in, and if you enjoy my show, please give me a thumbs up and please share. I really rely on people to share my show. I've only got 18 subscribers. Actually, I might have 17, but please, you know, if you like my show, please like it, please share it, and I'll be back next week. Actually, I might be doing another video very shortly on the Springbok captaincy. I think there's a few options for that, but I'll keep you posted during the week. Thanks, guys. Have a good week. Cheers.